I keep saying it, and I keep saying it, and I keep saying it. Welcome back to Piledriver. Absence once again, but I'm well. So here's to you, here's to the wait, the anticipation of this episode. The champ is here. Welcome back. I'll say it again. Welcome back. Piledriver, here we are. What are we going to cover? Well, what we're going to cover today is we're going to cover the Friday the 13th party that was hosted by Jeff and Chris. We had a great time on the 13th and the 14th of August. No, I'm really behind, but I got some cool footage. I got some great photos. Everybody had a stupendous time. We camped out in tents. I know I gave you the teaser on Instagram, and it's been a while, but we're going to cover all that. Myself, Jeffrey, and the Erdman, we had a nerdy yard sale. Had a really good time doing that with like the 13 customers we had, but it was still cool because we all just sat there and clowned around. And Chris, thank you so much for the pastries. They were delicious. Not that a guy like me should really be eating pastries. I'm also going to touch on one of my favorite times of the year, which happens to be Creature Feature Weekend. Creature Feature Weekend just happened last weekend, the last weekend of August, and it was a great time. I went up on Sunday and volunteered. I got to see so many of my good friends, my convention friends, that I haven't seen in probably 2 years. And we'll touch on that. But lo and behold, welcome back. We're gonna take this over to Jeff for the Friday the 13th festivities. That was a stumble, so I'll drink to that.
We have some nice little Jason lights. Oh yeah. Just a little string. By the way, my name is Jeff Piper. This is our Friday the 13th weekend. We have all the people come, they bring tents. This is the Crystal Lake over here. There's Erica. She's going to pick up some dog poop because the dog has diarrhea and did it right in front of the screen.
Do you have like pennies or anything like that? Food pennies?
This is my audio-visual man, Erdman. He's asking me for pennies. I think it has something to do with drugs, but I'm not sure.
No. No, I have to raise up the front of the projector a little bit.
Inside, where up like the coffee maker is, there's a drawer. It has all my change in there. There's everything you could possibly think of.
Awesome. Just need a couple pennies, I think.
So there is the poop cleanup. There's the screen. So you see all of that. There's Nora. She's walking around with.
Hi, Nora.
machete.
Hi.
Say hi, wave.
Ew, I can smell the poop. This will be our fire. You can see the tents. Everything is going on. Tomorrow night there will be twice as many people that are here right now. So there will be tents all the way around. And we're going to show number 3 and number 4. This evening we're showing 1 and 2, which is how we got to where we got. You see all of this. And that's just a brief walkthrough on everything that we were doing. 6 months ago, under a altered state of mind, I had an ideal that there's only one Friday the 13th this year, and so maybe we should show the movies outside and have everybody camp out, and this is what it looks like. In the background's Hellraiser music, which I know has nothing to do with anything, and you're probably wondering, how's he saying so many words without stuttering? I don't really know, but happy Friday the 13th. And that's that.
Baby Nora, whose birthday is it?
Jason
Yeah? And where's Jason at?
at home.
Oh, who's that?
Jason!
Are we sing happy birthday to him?
Yeah.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, dear Jason.
Happy birthday to you.
I love it. Baby Nora and myself singing happy birthday to Jason Voorhees. Now I know if you're a true horror fan, you know it's not his real birthday. But it worked out. We had fun. Everybody who enjoys the whole franchise of Friday the 13th, we had a blast. And the family was there and everybody was there and we all had a good time. We're gonna kick it over to some pictures from Creature Feature, which I'm sure a bunch of you have already seen. And once we get back from that, I'm gonna go over my goodies, my pickups. It was awesome. Got to see Garrett, got to see Brody, got to see Rafi, got to see Uncle Worm, Craig, Sandy. Phenomenal show, even though I was there for just a tiny bit. I got to see Spanky. Just so many fun people that I don't really see, and it's weird. And here come the sirens. I think they know I'm hanging out and I'm drinking and I'm filming, so now it's time to be noisy. Here they come. So, there they go. Before I left, Creature Feature had a great time hanging out. I helped Sandy and I helped Craig and they packed up all the things and just had such a good time. I was playing with the kiddo, throwing the ball through the lobby, hanging out, having a really, really, really good time. I know the beard's getting pretty thick. You're welcome. But before I left, Craig handed me this and it meant a lot. You know, as a volunteer, I don't expect anything. I didn't vend this year because I just didn't want to. But anyhow, John Almpus from Creep Show. I got my cake. Happy Father's Day. You finally got your cake. Craig handed me this and I love it. It's such a beautiful scene if you've never seen it. It's Father's Day cake and it's signed by John. Thank you, Craig. That was awesome. I really appreciate that. If you don't know about the Buffalo Bill house, it's live, it's open, it's an Airbnb. It is in Perryopolis, PA. I'll share the link at the end of the video. Guy bought it, his name is Chris. He's doing drastic changes to the place. And he's actually creating it to be like Buffalo Bill's house, Jane Gum from Silence of the Lambs. So you can go in, you can tuck, you can dance in front of the mirror and have a good time, you know, put on your lipstick and say those famous words. But anyhow, I picked up a pin from him, so that'll be cool. It's a very big, very heavy pin, but like I said, I'll post a link so you can check out the website. It's just so cool, and I thank you for the work you're putting in. I love Silence of the Lambs. Always have, always will. Appreciate it so much more as an adult. Star-studded cast. Just amazing to me. I stopped by Garrett's table. Garrett and I were booth mates years ago at the first ever Creature Feature. He was doing arcade machines. He's now doing this awesome bootleg toy stuff. But I picked up a piece that I just thought was too cool. I could not have it. Hands of Doom is the manufacturer. It is a rotting ear from Blue Velvet. And if you've never seen David Lynch's Blue Velvet, please check it out. That cast is insanity. And you'll also find out how to walk like a chicken. You'll find out who had the longest tongue You'll find out who the handsome man is. And you'll find out that Frank does not like Heineken. But check that out. Hands of Doom, that is beautiful. That was produced last year in 2020. And this is actually labeled. That is number 1 of 10, signed by the artist. That card artwork is amazing. The ear with the moss that was found in the field. So great. I just had to have it. There was no way I was leaving that show without it. I didn't get a photo with this one, but Kyra Shawn, you were so amazing. She was a little girl in Night of the Living Dead. Is definitely one of my favorite films of all time. It defined the I can't talk today, but it defined the zombie genre. So I got Kyra to sign that one for me. I love it. It is beautiful. It will be amazing framed. Can't wait to put that up. But this one's super cool to me. Years ago, I was a 17-year-old teen and had a broken foot. And I went to I went to Jason's Woods. I'm just gonna finish this beer. My head's going and my mouth can't keep up with my head. But I went to Jason's Woods, 17 years old, I had a broken foot, and I had one of those scooters you had to wheel yourself around on. And the only way you could meet the celebrities there was to complete every one of the attractions. They wouldn't even make an exception for a guy on a scooter with a cast. But I got to meet the likes of Kane Hodder. I got to meet the likes of Doug Bradley. This one here means the world to me. And this was super cool because obviously I have a soft spot, you can see behind me, for Texas Chainsaw Massacre, that entire franchise as well. Gunnar Hansen, got to meet him as a young kid at a show, super cool. I do have an autograph from him, but I got an autograph from R.A. years ago. R.A.'s such a good dude. He was a pro wrestler, and he got to play Leatherface in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, entitled Leatherface, The Sawless Family. I told him my story about how I had to go through all of that stuff just to meet him. And then obviously that was 21 odd years ago. And I lost that autograph. And it really, like, I always wanted to meet him again. And if ever given the opportunity, I was gonna do so. And I finally got to do it. And I got to sit with him in the hallway of the venue, not even at his table, and just talk. And I told him the story about, like, yeah, I had this cast and I had this scooter and I had to go through, and the only way to meet you, blah, 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 blah. And he was like, hey man, stop by my table. This one's on the house. I love the story. So nice to like meet you, and he says, and if it wasn't for fans like you who were passionate and didn't, care about what we do in films, we wouldn't have these things. And guys like him wouldn't be making the living that they are, doing these appearances, and they're all getting, a bunch of the ones I talked to are getting to go overseas to Germany real soon, have a really good time. But R.A. signed this for me, and it's the same photo I got from him when I was 17 years old. And as a 38-year-old man, on the cusp of 39, climbing that hill, folks. That's why I got all the white in the beard. Climbing that hill. But R.A. signed this to me, 2 mega, the Sawless Family, probably the same thing he wrote on everybody else's, and that's okay, because the Saw is family. But R.A. signed this gorgeous one for me, and oh my gosh. Brute, you are the man. Thank you so much for this. This is gonna go right below Gunnar. It's gonna look so cool. I love it. Just thank you, thank you, thank you. And that's so cool. Just so cool, man. Thank you. I appreciate you so much. What a journey we're all on. Excuse me. What a journey we're all on. All the things you got to experience that I covered through this whole episode. Very, very cool. I just wanted to share 1 or 2 last stories from Creature Feature. After everybody's leaving, the lobby is calmed down. I got a box in front of me I'm going through and I'm getting ready to pick up and take out to Sandy's car. And I feel this monstrous hug come from behind. And I'm like, who the hell is that big that is hugging me right now? And I like stand up into the hug and it gets a little tighter and I got to peek over my shoulder at this monster of a man and there's R.A. And R.A. went on to tell the story to Craig and he's like, this guy, I met him when he was a kid, blah, 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 blah. That was very cool of him, that he retained that little bit of information. But he said he was getting close to being under 350 pounds and, a guy like him, he can't afford to be under that. So he was going to the hotel bar and restaurant for a beer and a wonderful dinner because they definitely provide a great dinner at that bar. I've eaten there myself at that hotel. So anyhow, neither A nor B, that was just super cool that he recalled that little tidbit of information. It's just so neat and it meant a lot to me. Brute Bronson, look him up. He was a pro wrestler. He was Leatherface. He's done several other films. He's made cameos in the Texas Chainsaw 3D. And then I think he worked with Kane Hodder in a few films too. Regardless, very cool guy. So everybody's gone at this point. Everybody's leaving. The cars are loaded up. I went inside to make sure that Craig and Sandy didn't forget anything for one last little sweep. And who do I see walking through the lobby but Charles Cypher? If you don't know who Charles Cypher is, he was Sheriff Brackett in the original Halloween. Everybody's entitled to one good scare. Such a cool line, you know what I mean? Just, he was the amazing sheriff, and I loved it. It was so cool, but I see him walking through the lobby. He's heading towards a big leather chair, and I had to take my opportunity. I didn't get a photo with him because then a bunch of other celebrities who were there were, swarming the lobby and they were all going out for dinner. But I sat down and I just talked to him for a minute, normal person to person stuff. Because at the end of the day, they're regular people just like me and you. But they have a much cooler story, a lot of them. So Charles is sitting down in this big chair and, we're sitting there talking and he's like, so what'd you do with your life, man? Like, what makes you love horror? What makes you do this? Why are you here? You're a big guy, blah, 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 blah. So I mentioned to him that I was a pro wrestler at one point. And, I wished him well on his journeys. And he's like, well, before you go, he's like, I just got to say this because this was great. And I'm really happy he shared this with me. And I just thought it was super cool of him. He said, years ago, I did a convention with Roddy Piper. If you guys know me, you know I love Piper. And this was just cool to hear. He said, I got to give you guys credit. He said, you guys go out there and you give yourselves to the world. It's not fake. There's no double takes. Everything's live and on the spot. He's like, I gained a whole new respect for pro wrestling when I sat down and talked to Piper because he told me about all the broken bones and all the injuries over the years. And the man was still humble as could be. The man was still soft-spoken. The man was still genuine and happy. And he's like, if I had broken that many bones, I'd have been a grumpy old man. And look at me sitting here in this leather recliner with a cane. I'm a grumpy old man. So Charles Cypher, that was an amazing story. Thank you for sharing with me. This one goes out to you. This one goes out to all you guys. As you all know, I'm a funker. I hope you guys are funkers. And we'll get back at it on the regular. And Piledriver will be happening a lot more frequent. I've got some fun episodes coming up. We're approaching Halloween. Halloween. So we're gonna have some horror-filled stuff and we'll probably touch on some stuff we touched on before. Probably gonna sit down with one of my buddies who could share some road stories. So until next time, guys, Scotty Mega, Piledriver, we out.